Okay, so we are all set with Facebook Live, and I will also stop the recording. We can start now.
Hare Krishna. So today we have gathered to uh, listen to Pratik Desai ji. He is addressing a very important topic that has been uh, the hot topic today in the Indian social circles ever since the movie The Kerala Story has been released, and people have started talking. And there are many issues which were discussed in the movie, which tends to put the Hindus on a back foot. So, in fact, it is noticed that because of the very tolerant and open-minded general Hindu society, uh, mostly we see that people take their religion very casually, though they proudly want to say they are Hindus, but they are not so very well informed about their own religion. And sir, this uh, this lack of knowledge amongst the general people, the general populace, uh, Pratik Desai ji has done some work on this path, and he has released a book called 20 plus must know facts about Hinduism. I think we must, we can, this 20 plus must, is it readable, Pratik ji?
Sorry.
Are you able to read the, the cover? Is it readable?
It's not so clear, I think, because you have blurred your background. So,
okay, 1 minute. I will just that.
are you able to see this? Okay, I have also blurred.
Yeah, clear now?
Yeah, now it is clear.
But it's a mirror image, or you can read it?
This is clear.
I think it's appearing as a mirror image.
Sorry?
Are you able to read the title of the book?
Yeah. It's clear.
Okay.
20 plus must know facts about Hinduism. Yeah.
About Hinduism. I think this is quite a very good initiative and being appreciated by all in our social circles. Pratik ji has taken this effort, uh, and he has addressed many issues which the normal Hindu would actually find himself lacking on these questions to give a proper uh, answer, which is based on the basis of our scriptures, an authentic philosophy which meets the answers, which addresses these questions. So, Pradeep ji would today also on this topic of Kerala story, which is much these days being discussed by everyone. There are many issues it has raised. People are generally asking questions. So maybe Pratik ji would take up some FAQs out of those, out of the movie which we have come across, and try to address them. So Pratik ji, over to you. If should I should we take a look at some of the common questions? Should we have a question answer session, or you have something to start with on your own?
Yes, I think you have seen the movie, and I've also seen the movie. So we can
Yes.
start with the sequence of the points which have been raised in the movie, and then we can try to discuss on that.
Okay. So I think one question that one of the important characters in the movie raises, uh, which puts the Hindu on the back foot, says that your gods seem to be seeking help as if they are not able to help themselves, and as if our problems don't tend to get solved by believing in gods, implying as if by believing in Abrahamic gods, the problems are very addressed very easily. So, how do we, what would be the right way to answer this? How can
Yeah.
normal, a simple Hindu answer this question? Let's put it like that.
Yeah. So actually, this concept of believing in one's uh, God, which is connected to a particular religion only, that itself is actually restricting and limiting God, his all compassionate and all pervasive nature. So there is not something which is much appreciated by people in the world, because it is demonstrating a very narrow-minded approach of these kind of religions, to say that God is only limited and restricted, and only we have access to, or we have the right, or only we are the special ones who have direct access to our God, not everyone's God, but our God. So then the immediate question is that why God does like that? Why does he select only a few special people? And then why does he only allow them to connect with him? And then if someone does not believe in God, then why does God get upset with them or angry with them? So only just because the problem is that these Abrahamic religions, they do not believe in the principle of karma. There is no reincarnation according to them. Although I believe that some of the Christians, they do believe in karma and reincarnation, because there are different interpretations of Christianity also. And I'm not sure about Islam, whether all of them, all the followers of Islam, they believe in karma and reincarnation. But as far as I know, I don't think they believe in reincarnation. So in this movie, obviously they have portrayed the tenets of Islam. So in that sense, there is no question of believing in reincarnation. There is no question of believing in karma. And if karma is not there, reincarnation is not there, then how do we know? And that why God has selected a particular sect of people? Because if we are coming from Jannat, first of all, where are we coming from? And if we are coming from Jannat, then why only particular set of people they are coming from there? And what about the rest of the people? Where were they? And why only these people they have been selected? Why others they have not been selected? And why is God so cruel? Even if, because see, there is no karma. So you cannot say that the other set of people, because they did something wrong in the past, that's why God is just allowing them to face their reaction to their karma. Right? There is no concept of karma. So why the other set of people, they are born in a different religion and they are made to suffer, or they are supposed to be converted, and they are supposed to accept Abrahamic religion. So this is the biggest question. And then it also portrays the cruel image of God, the very selective mercy that the Lord is actually displaying here. Instead of, the Lord is infinite in everything, we know that. When a human being, a simple normal human being, can show compassion to living entities throughout the world, then what to speak of the Supreme Lord? If the Lord is supreme, he has to be excellent in everything. He has to surpass the human beings in all the aspects of their qualities. So compassion is like the most essential quality of humanity. And we assume and we expect the Lord to have infinite compassion. Right? So that is quite natural. When we are talking about God, Supreme God, infinite person, he is supposed to be infinite in everything. Then we cannot restrict and limit his compassion to only a few selected ones. If we talk about karma, it makes sense. People are responsible for their karma, and they make choices. That's why they suffer. But when there is no karma, that means you are just imposing suffering on others because of your own will. It does not make any sense. So to say that only a particular religion will, who are believing in their God, only they will enjoy, they will go to Jannat, they will go to Swarg, heavenly planets, and rest of them will suffer for eternity if they do not believe, or if they do not convert to their religion. That is simply illogical. It does not make any sense. And in fact, I would also question whether that particular religion is bona fide or not. Because a bona fide religion is supposed to be free from any type of violence. Now, that religion means reconnecting with God. So when you talk about reconnecting with God, emotions are involved, the relationships. In normal material world also, you see humanity. In humanity, we have a relationship, we serve each other. And we serve each other with respect and love. And if you do not serve me, does not mean that I kill you for that or send you to eternally to hell. I mean, there are so many people, millions of people who do not even know me, and they have probably never served me also. So when I, as a human being, do not have the feeling of sending them eternally for suffering, how can God will have that, feeling? God is so. If this is the image that is portrayed in the Abrahamic religion, then much, much, much greater than that is our Sanatan Dharma, because there the entire image of God is portrayed so positively. So why would someone? So it's people just need to be aware of their own Sanatan Dharma. If they really become true followers of Sanatan Dharma, if they acquire knowledge from those who have been following and practicing it since a long time, they will get questioned to all the answers, and they will also understand that their God is actually the most loving God in the entire creation. So, and another concept of Sanatan Dharma is that there is no question of asking God to stop our suffering. We don't worship God to stop our suffering. Right? We understand, because we also believe in the principle of karma and reincarnation. So we understand that we are responsible for our own karma and we suffer because of our karma. In fact, the philosophy that Sanatan Dharma is displaying, is that the Lord is so compassionate that in spite of our wrongdoings, our all the wrong activities we did in the past, the Lord is so compassionate that if we just try to connect with Him, He will nullify our sinful reactions. I mean, it all depends on Him. It's not that we establish a relationship with the Lord to get rid of all reactions to our karma. The purpose of reconnection with the Lord is just that we will realize that we are supposed to serve Him. In love, we all serve each other, right? And love is pure. So it's Sanatan Dharma is just a transformation from ego, false ego to pure ego. Pure ego means identity. But we realize that we are supposed to love one another. We are supposed to serve each other with love and compassion. So in the material world, unfortunately, we are all trying to exploit others and we are trying to control others, and we want to become the masters of everyone. That is because of false ego. But that same false ego, when we transform into pure ego, then we always want to serve others. And we want to get rid of that mentality of being the controller and exploit others. We always want to serve others. Because in a family, we do that. Because there is, we can say that a parent's love for the child is pure love to a great extent. It may not be completely 100%, but to a great extent, parents and siblings, they are supposed to love each other purely. So in a family, we can experience that. And that's why we also try to reciprocate in a pure way. But outside, because in the outside world, we see that everyone is trying to become the master and controller, and they are pushing down others. So this mentality of ego is demonstrated in the outside world. So similarly, the entire world, when we recognize that we are spirit souls, we are not the bodies, we have connection and relationship with each and every living entity. So when we identify that everyone is a family member, then we start loving them purely. So this is a practice. It's a practice. For the beginners, it's a practice, because transforming from false ego to pure ego, it's a big task. It's a big challenge. It is very difficult, and it will take a lot of time. So this is the process of Sanatan Dharma, right? And this is what we never say, that you believe in our God and that's the only way. And if you believe only in Krishna, Ram, and Shiva, then only you will be liberated. And if you believe in other gods, then you will go to eternally you will go to hell. No, in Sanatan Dharma, our God is so compassionate, he is loving and caring for each and every living entity. But yeah, there is a discrimination also. It's a simple thing, logical thing, that when you approach the Lord, then he will start reciprocating with you. If you do not want the Lord in your life, the Lord will also not interfere, because that's your free will. So this is the difference.
I think there's one more point that, as a Hindu, which I have experienced, even if I have not read the scripture, but having been brought up in a normal Hindu family, and I've seen others also, we've never given this. There is our God, and Christians is their God, or Muslims is their God. The feeling here is that there is God, simple, and the God is taking care of everyone. So I'm approaching God, and the God is reciprocating. So the way I approach him is the way he reciprocates. So that is fine. But ऐसा कभी ये नहीं आया हमको. We never came across के हमारा भगवान ये उनका भगवान. This concept is, I think, not natural to a normal.
Exactly. See, that's how Sanatan Dharma is actually the best dharma to follow, the best path to follow, because it is all accommodative, all inclusive. And Bhagwan is, the meaning of Bhagwan is also very clear. I mean, there is no caste, there is no religion, country, creed, society in that. Right? It is, Bhagwan means, it's a Sanskrit word, Bhagavan, which means he's the possessor of all opulences. So that's the only definition of God. And then as a loving, is a loving Father, universal Father. Because we are all, we say that we are not the body, we are the spirit soul. Okay. So the Atma is eternal. It's Sanatan. Right? And if it is eternal, so it has a eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord also, because it is ultimately the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So everyone is, they have the right to worship the Supreme Lord. And the Lord is universal. So it's a path. So it's not necessary that just because we are born Hindus, it gives us some kind of special privilege. I mean, in terms of practicing, it may give some benefit because we are used to the culture. We are more close to Sanatan Dharma. But, you know, there are so many foreigners who are joining the Krishna consciousness path, and they have taken up bhakti so seriously that they are far more advanced than the Hindus also, who are born in India. So they have become very serious devotees, and they are following so strictly also. And we are more influenced by the West, right? So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's a common sense thing. There is no, see, I mean, I don't understand why people think that there is my God, there is your God, there is others' God. Because then there will be, let's assume if this is the scenario, then what will happen? Even there will be a lot of conflict and fights amongst all these gods. So then why one has to worship God if there are multiple gods? So one God will say that, no, you know, like for example, if my path says that my God, if I follow my God, then my God will take care of me and he will make me enjoy eternally in Swarg. And another religion also says the same thing, that my God is also there. And if I follow my God, then he will make me eternally enjoy in the spirit, in the heavenly planets. So now, what is the meaning of this? I think that my God will take care of me and other gods will try to punish me. So one God will say that you are from a different group, so let me punish you eternally. And another God will say, no, you are from my group, so I will protect you. So there will be conflict and fights between all these gods. Correct. And so, you know, in the movie, this lady is also claiming that there is one God only, and that is Allah, and there is no other God. This is fanatism. First of all, even if we accept that there is Allah, there is only one God of everyone, But then what you have done to your Allah? You have restricted his omnipresence, omnipotency, everything. You have limited him. I mean, you have portrayed a very negative impression about him. Who is going to worship your Allah if he's so fanatically inclined that only a section of people, only a group of people will enjoy eternally if they are supposed to believe in me? No human being also will believe they have, they think like that in the normal material world also.
So Pratik ji, we don't you think in that sense we are also having such a mindset where we say there is only one God and there is only one supreme personality of God, and that is Krishna. So then how, if a Muslim says that there is only one God, that is Allah, and I say there is only one God, that is supreme personality of God, and Krishna, then isn't my position the same as that? So then how am I different?
Okay, but when we are describing and we are defining the supreme personality of Godhead, we are giving all, we are defining God in terms of his infinite opulences. Nothing is missing in the Lord. And we are also saying that the Lord has infinite compassion. So we are not fanatically saying that the God is limited, restricted, and he's only favoring a particular sect of people. No. And first of all, we are no one to say anything about God. It is all described in the scriptures. The scriptures are eternal. They are eternally the Vani, the words of the scriptures, they are all words of the Supreme Lord. So whatever is described in the scriptures, we are repeating that. And scriptures, it is a vast ocean. Sometimes you may find certain contrary statements in the scriptures, but we, the acharyas, the gurus, they have realized the knowledge, they reconcile it for us. And they make it very simple for the layman to understand. And they will reconcile all the contrary statements for us. So that way we can understand that we cannot restrict the Lord in any way. The Lord, whatever is described in the scripture, it is all there. It's all inclusive. But we just need to reconcile the contradictions. And most importantly, the the scriptures itself declare the compassion, the amount of compassion of the Lord, Supreme Lord. That how his mercy, his compassion is infinite, and how he thinks. What is his motivation? Why the living entities, they are in the material world? Why the human beings they are in the material world? Why the animals are in the material world? There is a reason for everything, and there is a reason why we are supposed to connect with him. So all this is described without any limitations, without any restrictions, without any binding. This is Sanatan Dharma. So now see, it in the movie what they have shown, it may be probably one of the extremes of Islam religion. There may be some fanatic people in Islam, and they may be giving this kind of negative portrayal of Allah. But maybe some other religions, some other Islam followers, they may probably don't have any issue with welcoming others, and they may also not want others to convert. And they are also of the opinion that Allah is the same for everyone, just like our Supreme Bhagwan is the same for everyone. So I think there are followers of Islam, and maybe they are like bona fide followers of Islam, who are genuine, and they do have this all-encompassing nature, and they do understand that there is no restriction in terms of loving God. Anyone from anywhere can love God. So if that is the approach, then yeah, it's a universal principle. Even Srila Prabhupada, when he was asked by the reporters in the West, so he used to say that we are not asking you to leave Jesus Christ, but you'll become the best followers of Jesus Christ if you become God conscious, if you become Krishna conscious. Okay, so become the best Christians by becoming the best lover of God. So if we become the best lover of God, you become the best Christian. And that means we also develop compassionate attitude towards living entities. And we love and serve each other. like that. So our definition and description of God is very different from the way they have been describing. That is why it is more appealing. You are muted.
Sorry. So we hear them also say in the movie, those of the Abrahamic, that we eternally go to hell by belief in any other god other than the Abrahamic gods.
Exactly. So I think we have already covered this point. That
Right.
They are just limiting their own God. They are just portraying a negative image of their God. So Allah is, so Prabhupada also used to say that whether you call Supreme God as Jehovah, Allah, or Bhagwan, it's all the same. We are just calling by different names. And why we are, so now one more question may come up is, why do we call, especially ISKCON followers, why do they call Bhagwan as Krishna? So first of all, we also believe that if the Supreme Lord is supposed to be all inclusive, supposed to have everything, then you cannot make the Lord impersonal. If we have a personality, the Lord can also have a personality. And when you assign a personality, then personality also means they have their own names. So when we have our names, why can't God also have a name? It is his choice. It is God's choice that he wants to give himself his name. And the way he gives name is also reasonable. It is very logical also. Like for example, Krishna. Now what is the meaning of Krishna? Krishna means all attractive. And God is indeed all attractive. So you may call Allah also Krishna, because Allah is also all attractive. Any God is all attractive. I mean, the Supreme God, the Universal Father, the one Supreme God is all attractive. That is the meaning in Sanskrit. If you translate in the meaning of all attractive, it is, the meaning is Krishna. So,
Correct.
So this is how Krishna has also selected his own name. What is wrong in that? And then we'll also, I think we'll probably discuss more once we go ahead. But this is very important to understand that God is also a person, because the problem comes when these other religions, they do not accept the identity of the Supreme Lord, absolute truth. So they think that the God is impersonal, because in their religion there is no description about God. So see, they keep talking about going to heavenly planets, enjoying there, but then where is your God in the heavenly planet? And if your God is there in the heavenly planet, what is he supposed to do? Are you saying that you go there and then you enjoy with the Lord? That means he is a person, right? Just because there is no description in the scriptures does not mean that you make God impersonal. And if there is no God, and if there are only living entities who are followers of Allah, and they go there and they are just enjoying, and there is no Allah in there, what is the sense of worshipping Allah from the beginning? So who is Allah? And why is he deciding, to select some special souls to come to him and then make others suffer? Who is that Allah? Who is the decision maker? See, this is the biggest fallacy. So they believe that, okay, Allah can hear our prayers and all that. But when it comes to accepting the entire personality, then they just want to somehow eliminate that. So, who has given that right to eliminate the personality? Now, there are certain proponents of the philosophy of Islam who claim that in the Vedic culture also, God is portrayed as an impersonal character. And Krishna, Ram, they are all like Maya. They are just like, material manifestations of that supreme absolute truth. They promote like that just because they want to make things very similar to their religion, to their philosophy. So, because they want to draw the similarities and also at the same time they will state the differences. The problem is that they will not quote many scriptures and verses from the scriptures, which actually does clearly establish that God is a person and he has features, he has personalities, he has personality traits, he has color, he has his own abode in the spiritual world. There is a spiritual world also. And then there is a rasa, relationship of the living entities with the Lord. So these things are also there in the scriptures, but they do not want to quote these things. They will only eliminate. So it is basically being biased. Whatever is favoring their statements in the scriptures, they will only take that and reject everything which is contrary to their scriptures. So this is the problem. So that's why we call Krishna. So one time Srila Prabhupada was asked this question by a reporter, that why, not a reporter, but by his own disciple, because the Western countries, they're all influenced by this impersonal concept right from the beginning. So the disciple also, he asked Srila Prabhupada ji that why have you called this movement as International Society for Krishna Consciousness instead of God Consciousness? And Prabhupada immediately replied back. He said that don't make God impersonal. God is a person and his name is Krishna, because Krishna means all attractive. So what is wrong in that? Now, when you talk about a person, why we are only referring to Krishna as a supreme being? Because of his actions. There is no God in the entire Vedic literature who has performed activities like that of Krishna. There are number of evidences for that, so many of them. So we won't go into the detail of that, but it's not being biased about Krishna. It is not being fanatic about Krishna. But everything has to be proved shastrically and logically. If in the scriptures anyone can establish that there is a God which is greater than Krishna, who has performed super excellent pastimes and qualities more than that of Krishna, we are willing to accept that God also. We are not being biased for Krishna, but prove it by evidence from scriptures as well as from logic. Again, you are muted.
So then they ask it's like ridiculing the Hindu, saying that, oh, you have so many gods. Why your gods can't? Why do you need so many gods? Is your God not powerful enough to manage everything? So you need many, many gods. That's another common question that's put forth.
Yeah. 33 आपके धर्म में 33 करोड़ देवी देवता है. किस किस को आप पूजेंगे? इसके लिए आप उसके पास जाओगे, इसके लिए आप उसके पास जाओगे, इसके लिए आप उसके पास जाओगे. लेकिन हमारे यहाँ पे एक ही के पास आना है. कोई इतने सारे डिपार्टमेंट में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, एक ही पे आप आओ. So see, first of all, this entire thing of देवी देवता, 33 करोड़ देवी देवता, there are two understandings about this in the scriptures. One scriptures, they are talking about 33 types of demigods. They are not talking about 33 crores demigod. The word used is koti. So koti can also be, generally it refers to crore. So koti can mean crore. But in this particular scripture, in the I think one of the Upanishads, it is mentioned, or one of the Shrutis, it is mentioned that it is 33 koti. Now, koti in this context actually is referring to the categories, because immediately it describes the 33 types of demigods. So it is not saying that there are 33 crores. It is just defining the categories of the. So there are 12 Adityas, 11 Rudras, 8 Vasus, 1 Indra, and 1 Prajapati. So these are 33 different categories of the demigods. And we will not go much into detail, but the idea, the concept of and now we can say that, okay, another scripture talks about 33 crore demigods. So let us assume that, okay, these are 33 categories and there is a subdivision. Amongst them, there are, let's say, each and every category has crore devatas in those particular categories. So maybe the total is 33 crores. Let's assume even if there are 33 crores. Now, see, the concept behind this is all these, first of all, there is a difference between demigod and God. So it's a monotheistic approach only, when we are worshipping the Supreme Lord. Sanatana Dharma also believes in monotheistic approach. It is not, polytheistic, because there is no concept of multiple Supreme Gods. The Supreme God is only one. So there is a clear distinction between the Supreme God and the demigods. That's why we call them demigods. Now, who are these demigods? These are the demigods are actually jivas like us, who have, because of their very pious karma, because of their very good karma, they have taken certain position in a particular department. Just like, for example, when you have the prime minister, then there is an entire ministry cabinet, right? And you have all sort of different ministers. You have the education minister, environment minister, chief minister, this minister, that minister. So many different types of ministers are there. Now, in the material world, we require all these ministers because the prime minister is limited. He's unable to handle all these things. So that's why there is division. But in case of God, he's unlimited. So why all these different divisions? The divisions are there so that all these jivas, they can take some responsibility, perform some responsibility, they can do some pious activity, and then they can attain the Lord, they can connect with the Lord. So the Lord has assigned certain karmas, certain responsibility to all these different jivas, just like in this world we are doing our responsibilities in the family, in the society, and in the country. So similarly, in order to rule the planet, the Earth planet, and then the entire universe, we require living entities who are much more powerful, much more capable, and much more intelligent than us. So these are the demigods, and they are managing the universal affairs. So see, although the Lord is Atma Rama, but he's also Aptakama, which means that he is fully satisfied, but he's also full of desires, because nothing is lacking in the Lord. Nothing is lacking. So in the form of Supreme God, let's say that Supreme God is Krishna. Krishna is eternally residing in the spiritual world and enjoying. He has no botheration, he has no work, he's just enjoying, because someone who is unlimitedly powerful and opulent, he will only enjoy. Why he has to work? Why he has to labor hard in the material world? And the Supreme Lord has created this material world, so he knows exactly how it is going to function. So that's why he is Atma Rama in terms of when he is in the spiritual world. But Aptakama means he is full of desires. And he can be of desires also, because he's the Supreme Lord. So he desires that I want to enjoy, I don't want to work. So what he will do, he will assign the task to all these different highly intellectual living entities to manage the universal affairs. So we have so many departments in the material universe. The material universe is actually a 14 planetary system. We won't go into the details of that, but there are billions and billions of living entities. In order to manage them, we require not just 33 crores, but billions of people to manage it. So that's why the Lord has assigned, all these, they have tasks and responsibilities. They are doing it. Right? So this is the reason why we have this kind of departmental structure. Okay, so the Supreme Lord does not have to manage these things. This is the point. So, it does not mean that we are restricting or limiting the omnipotency of the Lord. No, the Supreme Lord can perform the task of all these living entities. Infinitely, he can do this for infinite time. But why he want to do it? Why does he want to do it? Because the main goal is to enjoy. The dharma of living entity is to enjoy. Everyone likes to enjoy in the material world. That is the dharma. It's a constitutional nature of the soul. So similarly, now, because why we want to enjoy? Because the Lord wants to enjoy. So we are all made in the image of God. We are all part and parcel of God. So we have the same qualities as the Lord also have. And that's why we have desires also. So when we can have desires, the Lord can also have desires. But we have material desires, the Lord has spiritual desires. Because his entire body is composed of spirituality, of spiritual energy. He's Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is not composed of earth, water, fire, air either. His body is composed of Satchid Ananda, Satchida, Satchit, eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Right? So that's why his body and the soul are the same. His gross body, there is no gross body of the Supreme Lord. His body and the soul are the same. We have gross body, subtle body, and the soul, but the Supreme Lord does not. So this is very important to understand, because most of the people, most of the philosophers, they are not willing to understand this point, that the Lord is eternally, the form of the Lord is eternally there. The Lord is eternally present in his spiritual world. And many times, there is also controversy and question amongst the Hindus that, okay, the Hare Krishnas, they are saying that Krishna is the origin of Vishnu, but we have heard that Krishna is he is coming from Vishnu. Vishnu is the source of Krishna, right? But we say vice versa. So the point is that please understand, simple thing. पहले कौन आया? मुर्गी आई या पहले अंडा आया? So इसका कोई आंसर नहीं है. और ये आंसर क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि भगवान के सारे फॉर्म जो है, each and every form of the Lord is eternal. So Krishna, Ram, Vishnu, Narayan, Narsimha, Vamana, Matsya, Kurma, these are all eternal forms of the Lord. So there is no point of arguing that who is coming from whom. The more sensible thing is to say that, yeah, Krishna, in the highest sense, Krishna is the one who is actually displaying the maximum qualities compared to any other form of the Lord. So that's how we say that everything is present in the Lord. Everything is present in the Lord, which is like, all the avatars, they are all the other forms of the Lord, they are also present in Krishna, because he's the Avtari. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karanam Karanam. And then Advait Achyutam Anadir Ananta Rupam. Advait Achyutam. Advait means non-dual. Achyutam, infallible. Anadi means beginningless. Ananta means endless. Rupam. So all these are the qualities of the Supreme Lord. So this we have to understand. And yeah, I think when we proceed ahead, I will also share more about the personalities of Krishna and Ram.
So I think you've touched upon the position of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So automatically then the next, so are the main gods, there are so many gods, important personalities, that is Ram is there, Shiva is there, Brahma is there. But then if one god, if we have many devatas, then are these gods, they say main gods in Hinduism, are they impotent? There's another question that they have raised on this. So have we sort of touched on this point now in your
Okay.
briefing?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so as I was sharing that there is a particular reason why these 33 crores of demigods are there, and they are not Supreme God. They are the servants of the Supreme God. Like for example, in the Prime Minister is the main one, the main minister is the Prime Minister, and then all others, they are all assisting and serving the Prime Minister. They are following the instruction of Prime Minister, and they are trying to please the Prime Minister. So similarly, all these devatas, they are all trying to please the Supreme Lord. See, because they are in the category of Jiva. Now there are different types of categories that we need to understand. The first is Ishwar Tattva. Ishwar Tattva, or the Supreme God, the controller, Supreme Controller. So that in that Ishwar Tattva category comes Krishna and Vishnu. And then comes Shiva. Now Shiva is in between the Jiv Tattva and Ishwar Tattva. So because Shiva, so like for example, see, there are unlimited qualities manifested by Supreme Lord. And out of those unlimited qualities, 64 are most prominent. That 64 qualities are displayed by Krishna only. Even Vishnu cannot display those 64 qualities. Even Lord Ram cannot display. Okay. So Krishna, Ishwar Tattva. So Krishna in the Ishwar Tattva category, Krishna is the highest. And then below Krishna is Vishnu, because Vishnu only displays 60 qualities. Vishnu, Ram, Narasimha, these are all the secondary, Ishwar Tattvas. So they are all the controllers. And Brahma Samhita gives the example of lighting many candles from one candle, from the source. So you have a source, you have the original candle, and then you start lighting all the other candles. So the first candle is Krishna, and then all the other candles are like Vishnu. So technically, all these other Vishnu forms, they all have the potency of, they are all similar. It's just that in terms of rasa, Krishna is displaying more qualities. Okay, but they all have same amount of strength. And some qualities they are displayed more by Krishna compared to others. So these Vishnu forms, they are having 60 qualities. And then we spoke about Lord Shiva. So Shiva has got 50 qualities, 55 qualities compared to Krishna and Vishnu. That's why Shiva is in a different category, Shiv Tattva. So he is neither Jiva nor Vishnu. Okay. And Brahma Samhita gives example of when you churn milk, then what is produced is curd. So from milk you get curd, but from curd you cannot get milk. Although it's a transformation of milk. So technically one and the same, the constitution is the same, but difference in terms of the texture. And from milk we cannot, from the source you can get so the milk is the cause and the effect is the curd. So the effect is produced by the cause, but the cause is not produced by the effect, right? So this is the difference. And then the last category is the Jiva category, the living entity, which can only display 50 qualities. So Brahma is the example of that. And all of us, we are all example of the Jivas. So Jiva can never become the supreme controller. So we can see this from experience also, pratyaksha also, direct experience, that we are always controlled. We are never allowed to control others. We are always controlled by nature, right? Birth, that old age, disease, that's not in our hands. Neither what is going to happen is also in our hands. So we are controlled to a great extent. So that's why, because we are Jivas, we are controlled. We cannot become supreme controllers. Only Shiva, Vishnu, and Krishna, they are the supreme controllers. Okay. So once we understand this, then we can understand who are these 33 crores of demigods. So they are all in the category of Jiv Tattva. Okay. And maybe some of them may be in the category of Shakti Tattva, which is basically the feminine nature of the Supreme Lord. So God exists in two forms, in his male aspect and his female aspect. So the female aspect is called Shakti and the male is called Shaktiman. Okay, so that we have to understand. Now, ultimately, Shaktiman is the main controller, and Shakti is also the energy of the Lord. So it's supposed to serve the Lord. Right? So this will clear the concept of 33 crore demigods. These are all the category of Jivas. So we are not ideally, we are not supposed to worship them. If we are worshipping the Supreme Lord, we obviously have to respect them, because we are supposed to respect each and every living entity. What to speak of exalted personalities? Demigods are all exalted personalities. They are highly intellectual than us. They are very powerful than us. So we are supposed to, and on the top of that, they are also agents of the Supreme Lord's, because they are assigned by the Supreme Lord to perform certain tasks. So they are empowered by the Supreme Lord to a certain extent. So we need to respect that. But we cannot equate them with the Supreme Lord. That's why there is monotheistic approach, and this polytheistic approach is now cleared. Okay, there are many 33 crore demigods or whatever it is, but they are all jivas. They are managers in the material universe, like that. Okay, so this is clear. So now, as I already said, the supreme God, see, these divas, these demigods, they are so powerful. If you hear the description in the scriptures, they are so powerful that they have got Ashtasiddhis. Anima, Lagima, then different types of siddhis where they can become smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. They can fly in the sky. They can enter the body of people. So all these different types of mystic siddhis they possess. Right? When these demigods they are so powerful, then there is a question of the Supreme Lord being impotent, because ultimately all these powers are all coming from the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme has got infinite power. There is no question of being impotent. Now there are certain examples that were shared in the movie. Right? Lord Ramchandra was crying for Sita Devi and he was wandering the forest and he was lamenting for Sita. Then and he could not do anything about it. And he had to take help of monkeys and all. So, and then Lord Shiva also, he's carrying Mother Parvati and he's also lamenting, right? And he's also going from one place to another place. So they have shared all these things about our gods, but they don't know, they don't understand the tattva, the reality of these gods. Right? So this is our next topic about Krishna, Ram, Shiva, clarifying their positions. So one thing that we clearly understand that they are not at all impotent. Why are they acting like that? Right? Why are they acting impotently? Apparently they are acting impotently. So this is the next, I assume this is the next question. Right? Again, you are muted.
Correct. That's the natural flow of the next topic.
Yeah. So, as I stated earlier, let us start with the example of Krishna. So all these people, they claim that Krishna is having Ras Leela with so many billions of gopis, so many women, and he's enjoying with the wife of other women, other men and all, right? And then Krishna also left, he just fled from Mathura in order to escape from the attack of Kalyavan, right? Because he fled Mathura and then he made his headquarters in Dwarka. So Krishna is also called as Ranchod. Why did he flee the battle? See, it is very interesting. Whoever is claiming that Krishna fled the battle, in the fear of being attacked by Jarasandha and his followers and associates. So they don't know that the same Krishna single-handedly defeated Jarasandha 17 times earlier. So why on the 18th time, why he had to fled the battle? They don't ask the question. They just come to conclusion that Krishna is important because he fled the battle. And he is important. And they also question the departure of Krishna. Krishna also died like an ordinary human being. He was shot by a hunter, and that's how he died. And he died like an ordinary human being. So how can he be the Supreme Lord? And then he also did Ras Leela and all these pastimes. But they forget that, see now, most interesting, they talk about his Ras Leela pastimes so many times. And they also know that Krishna did Ras Leela with not just thousands of women, not just with lakhs of women, not just with crores of women, but billions of women, right? In fact, we acknowledge that. We agree that not just with some amount of women, but uncountable, unlimited women. He performed Ras Leela with unlimited women. In the Shastra, it is described it's just a given, they have just given a tentative figure. They could have mentioned Ananta, infinite, okay. But the scripture also, sometimes they will give some number. And the scripture state that 16 billion gopis were there in the Raslila dance. Now my question is, what is the population of India?
100 crore. 125 crore.
Let's say 130 crores, right? Okay, what is 1 billion? What is the equivalent of 1 billion in terms of crores?
100 crores.
1 billion is 100 crores, right? And here, what is the population in terms of billions?
Million.
Billion. What is our population in billions?
In terms of billion, 1.3 crore, 1.3 billion.
1.3 billions. The Shastra is describing 16 billion gopis.
16
billion gopis. So where these gopis are coming from? That is the biggest question. The population of India itself is 1.3 billion. Even if you unite the entire world, I don't know what is the total world's population.
I think it is around 8 billion.
8 billion. So 16 billion gopis. So see, they have to think about it. And first of all, let's say even if you are like, big Hollywood star, like Tom Cruise or someone, and you may have like millions of followers, if not billions. If Tom Cruise will display his heroic acts, how many people can come running to him on the same night? Locally, so many women can come running behind him, right? In that same, let's say 2-3 hours of period, how many can come, assemble? But here Krishna is just playing his flute and 16 billion gopis. There is no space in the world also to accommodate all these 16 billion. Where are they coming from? That is the question. And how do they accommodate in that small portion of India?
Is it possible that there also they've used the word koti, and koti means so many types of gopis rather than crores?
No, this is the scriptures. They are very exact about this.
Okay.
So see, there is a figure given. Sometimes in some scripture it is mentioned millions of gopis. In somewhere it is mentioned billion of gopis. And somewhere it is mentioned, the scripture does talk about the prominent gopis of Krishna, the best gopis of Krishna. Like the 8 are the best, and among them 2 are the most supreme, and among them 1 is the ultimate, Srimati Radharani, right? So they will categorize according to that. But see, there are these many number of gopis present in Krishna's pastimes. So just imagine, who is this Krishna? He cannot be some ordinary living entity like us. How does he attract so many? That is another question. Even in the material world also, in one universe, you have one Tom Cruise or one Shah Rukh Khan. Now, you cannot, and with the population of 8 billion, you cannot claim that all the 8 billion, they are all followers of these people. Right? Some of them, they will hate Shah Rukh or they will hate Tom Cruise. Right? It's not necessary everyone can love them. So let's say half of the crowd is gone, 4 billion. So even from the figurative point of view, try to understand who is this Supreme Lord. Someone who is beyond the material realm altogether. Okay. Next thing is that one needs to understand all these gopis, all these women, they are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So when Krishna is performing this Raslila dance with all these so-called women, he's not seeing the external gross body of that particular person. He is seeing purely from the point of view of the spirit soul. because you cannot see the Lord unless and until you are on a level of prema. You are on a pure love of God platform. You cannot see the Lord also. So the gross body cannot perceive the Lord. The gross body cannot even see the Lord. What to speak of participating in the Lord's pastime? So one needs to understand that whoever participates in this pastime, first of all, the Lord is seeing everyone. There is no male and female for the Lord. He's only seeing in terms of the soul, because the Lord knows the past, present, future of all the living entities. He knows that this person may be in a male's body, but in the past life, he may be in the female's body. So why does he, how does he look in the form of male and female? And then he knows the future life also. So even if he sees a male form, but maybe in the future he knows that this same person is going to acquire a female's body. So how does the Lord see them? Right? Does not make sense. The Lord sees constantly with one vision. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is very clearly mentioned, a sadhu sees the Supreme Lord in all the living entities. So the Lord cannot see the living entities in the same way. When the sadhu, a pure devotee of the Lord, sees the Lord in each and everything, everywhere, then the Lord cannot see the same spirit soul pervading everywhere, because that's the spirit soul is eternal, the body is temporary, and the Supreme Lord has to do with eternity. He does not even bother about temporary material things. So he's only exchanging loving relationship with the soul of that person. That one has to understand. He is not seeing the body of that person, because it's the gross body. It is going to die. And the subtle body is also, after one attains liberation, the subtle body also goes away. Subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, ego. And the gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So the Lord is only extending a relationship with the soul. He's only seeing the love of the soul. And that's why Trivikra in the pastimes of the Lord, Trivikra was bent in three different postures and was very ugly looking. But the Lord exchanged a conjugal loving relationship with Trivikra also. And then he straightened her up. That's a different thing. He also made her very beautiful. But the Lord never sees the externalities of a person. He only sees the loving devotion. It is also said that when we offer food to the Lord, bhoga to the Lord, like the example in Mahabharata, it's a very popular. Sabse Uchi Prema Sagai. That song is also very popular. So in that it is very clearly shown when the Lord visited Vidura's house along with his wife. So in love, in that overwhelming situation, the wife of Vidura was actually offering the banana leaf. Sorry, not the leaf, but the peel of the banana. That was offered to the Lord. And the Lord was in such ecstasy that he was not even seeing what is being offered to him. He just took away that banana peel, and he ate that peel. And then later on, they realized that, oh no, we have made a mistake. We had to offer the banana, but instead of that, we offered the banana peel, right? So the Lord is only exchanging relationship with the soul. Now this is our second reasoning. First, from figurative point of view. Second reasoning is from the point of view of the soul, which is eternal, the only eternal thing, and which is the only thing that matters to the Supreme Lord, the soul. The third thing is, according to the scripture, according to Gad Samhita, all these gopis, all these women, they were expansions of Krishna's own internal potency. So they are all expansion of Krishna's own, internal potency means the Ladini Shakti.
Ladini Shakti, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Pleasure potency.
Pleasure potency of the Lord. So this pleasure potency is not different from the Lord. Shakti, Shaktiman, they are non-different. A man has energy, a woman has energy. Energy is inbuilt. Can never be separated. So where is the question of being separated? This is the third reasoning. Fourth reasoning. our acharyas explain that even if you don't consider that they were the internal potency of the Lord, but then another reason given by them is they were when the woman went away to meet the Lord in the rasa dance, leaving behind their husband. What actually happened is the gopis, the women, they had replicated themselves in two forms. So the spiritual form, they all went to the rasa dance to enjoy with Krishna, and the material forms they were left behind. That's why in the Bhagavatam it is described the husbands, they were very supportive of their women, and they did not even get a hint that they had gone to perform the Rasalila pastime with the Lord, because they all stayed behind in one form. Another form, the expansion of that had gone to Krishna, the spiritual form. So, okay, so these are all from the point of view of the gopis. Now, let us also talk about who is there, who wants to enjoy the Raslila, who wants to witness the Raslila. Which are these examples? Lord Shiva, Brahma, Indra, demigods, all the demigods. They are all hankering and they are all wanting to witness and enter the pastimes of the Raslila of Krishna. If Krishna, see, there are so many people who worship Shiva, Durga, and many demigods. And they worship them very dharmically. Right? Now, these gods themselves, if they want to witness and they want to participate in the Raslila pastimes, how is it possible that Krishna could be adharmic, or Krishna could be doing some immoral activities with the woman, or he could be enjoying illicit connection? He must be having some illicit connection with all these women. It's not possible. In fact, it is mentioned in the scriptures that after the Raslila dance, or after having pastimes with Krishna, all these gopis, their chastity increases, and Krishna's brahmacharya increases. So this is the reverse in the material world. In the material world, your chastity is destroyed, right? If you engross yourself with some paramour, then your chastity is destroyed. And if a male, if he also enjoys a woman, then his brahmacharya is destroyed. He's no longer a brahmachari, he's no longer a celibate. But after the pastimes, the chastity of the gopis, it increases, and Krishna's brahmacharya also increases. So there is no connection, the physical, that sexual activity is not at all there. It is all, these activities are all performed on a spiritual platform. Exchange of the soul.
It is not a perverted way of mingling that we normally imagine.
There is no carnal pleasure in this. There is spiritual pleasure. It's being exchanged on a very high platform. So we cannot understand. Another reasoning also is that Bhishma Pitama is also praising the Raslila pastimes of the Lord. Now, Bhishma Pitama is one of the staunch brahmachari in the entire Mahabharata. That's why he got the name Bhishma also. When he took a vow, it was like a solid vow, very, very strong vow. That's why demigods, they showered flowers on him, and they also gave him the name Bhishma. Intense, vow he took. So what was the vow? That he will stay celibate throughout his life. And this biggest brahmachari, he is also glorifying the Lord's Raslila pastimes. Sukdev Goswami is also another staunch brahmachari. Never had connection with any woman. He is describing in the Bhagavatam the Raslila pastimes, and he is glorifying Krishna. And he's saying that if one hears the Raslila pastimes of Krishna with the gopis, then the extreme problem of humanity, the lust in the heart, will be destroyed completely. Whereas in the material world, the perverted is happening. If you enjoy with a woman, the lust will increase and it will intensify. It will rise, keep rising, right? But in the spiritual pastimes, if you hear about Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, the woman, then your lust, whatever lust is there in your heart, will be destroyed with time. So how can the Lord be lusty? So this is about Krishna's character. Now Krishna has performed unimaginable, very potent, lot of powerful activities, which is also impossible that a human being can perform. But that they are not showing, that they are not covering, that they are not sharing with others. Just like Krishna is lifting over the hill. Then Krishna gave. Now see, another very interesting point is that Krishna liberates the demons also. So whichever demon tries to attack, kill Krishna, Krishna will liberate the demon. Even Lord Rama and Lord Narasimha, they cannot liberate the demons. They can give some elevation to these demons. They can give them opulences, but they cannot liberate the demons.
But didn't Lord Ram liberate on his journey to Lanka when he was meeting some trapped souls? Was he not liberating them that time?
Who?
Lord Ram.
What he?
Lord Ram killed Ravana. Was Ravana liberated?
He came back in the form of Shishupal.
Okay.
So whoever Lord Ram, Narasimha or Vishnu they have killed, they have not attained liberation. They have to come back. But just because in contact with the Lord, they attained very opulent things in the next life. They were promoted. So in the scriptures, the word gati is used. Gati. So when the Lord kills a demon, they attain gati. And that gati can mean different things. So when Krishna kills someone, the gati means liberation or attaining his own spiritual world. And when Lord Ram gives gati, so it means the demon can be promoted to Swarga, or he can get a lot of opulences in the next life. So these are all examples from the scriptures. So when Krishna can give liberation to demons, okay, and when he is the possessor of liberation, he is the one who gives liberation. There is the question of saying that Krishna is contaminated or he is lusty or he is affected by these things. He is beyond all such things. So that's why, because they don't understand the personality of Krishna, they are all using this as a reason to pollute the minds of Hindus. Because the Hindus, they are not familiar with their culture, they have not read scriptures, they have not understood the character of all these personalities. And unfortunately, many Hindus who are followers of Sanatana Dharma, they have given it a very completely, biased and wrong interpretation of the personalities of all these gods. They have given a Mayavad interpretation, impersonal interpretation, Advaita interpretation. That means that the Lord, when he appears in the material world, it's a temporary incarnation. He's made up of material elements. He's also part of Maya. So this interpretation is the interpretation of the followers. There is no mention of such thing in the scriptures. The scriptures are very clearly describing the eternal form of the Supreme Lord. So when others are calling it as the representation of Maya, that means they are interpreting that. But scripture does not talk about that.
Right.
So this is
Also-
about Krishna. And so similarly about Lord Rama, all these monkeys were different demigods who had participated in the Lord's pastimes, and they wanted to render some service in his pastimes. So as I said earlier, that Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, they are in the Vishnu category, Ishwar Tattva. So they are fully potent. They are not incapable of doing anything. But because they want to give the devotees chance to serve them, so they act as if they are impotent. So in one particular instance, the Lord is taking help from monkeys, but the same Lord Ram, he killed many demons in the past when he was young. Single-handedly gave liberation to many devotees, right? And he destroyed armies in the battlefield. Similarly, as you know, I shared earlier that Krishna destroyed 17 times Jarasan. 18 times he had a different plan altogether. That's why he acted in such a way that it seems that he fled. No, but it was his pastime, it was his Leela. He wanted to worship as being called as Ranchod, because he likes to, call himself like that. And there is a reason for that. I mean, he fled because he was concerned about his citizens. So as a matter of affection for his citizens, he fled. And so see, Krishna can protect all his citizens. There is no question of not protecting the citizens. But if everything the Lord will do automatically, then where is the fun in the pastime? There is a fun. Like, for example, if like yesterday, if you have seen Kerala story, and if I had told you A to Z of the Kerala story, would that be a fun to watch the movie, to go to the theater and watch the movie? No, because the suspense is all revealed. You know everything about the story. So there is no fun in watching. So similarly, the Lord's pastimes in the material world, they are like dramatic performances. The Lord comes for his devotees in order for the conditioned souls to attract them. In order to attract them, he performs his pastimes. So in the Bhagavatam, it is clearly mentioned that Lord Ramchandra is full of opulences. He's the possessor of everything. He does not need to depend on the monkeys. He does not need to depend on anyone. But he took the help of the monkeys so that he could exchange relationship with them. Right? So because philosophers, they are not accustomed to this aspect of philosophy, that there is the Leela aspect of the Lord. There is because he's a person, so he likes to associate with his devotees. That's why they get confused. And they start thinking that, and because they think that the Lord is also material, and his incarnation is also temporary. He's also going to die after some time. So see, in case of Lord Ramchandra, he went back in his original form to Vaikuntha in front of all the Ayodhyavasis. But in pastimes of Krishna, he demonstrated a completely opposite pastime, where it seemed that he was shot dead because of the hunter, and then he died. It is also described in the Bhagavatam that his body was it was burned in the funeral ceremony by the Yadus, the remaining Yadus. So they had burned the body of Krishna in the fire ceremony. Right? But the same Bhagavatam also says that when Daruka saw Krishna in that condition, right? At that particular time, Krishna manifested his 400 form, his Vaikuntha Swarup, and gave darshan to Daruka, and he smiled, and he gave certain instructions to Daruka. So this aspect is hidden, it is rejected, but only focus on, the Lord also was, burned in that funeral ceremony. That only is highlighted. And then the same Bhagavatam also says that when the Lord can award liberation to demons, when he can reverse the karma of the living entity, then the same Lord cannot protect himself. So it has to be understood in the proper context. So this is about Lord Ram. And similarly, Lord Shiva is also displaying his pastimes in the material world. Same thing. Shiva is also omnipotent. He is also all-powerful. But in order to demonstrate certain pastimes with his loving devotees, he acts like an actor in the dramatic stage, like that.
So in the movie, we also find that they try to influence the Hindu by saying that the kafirs, they call them kafirs, and they say that you are always going to suffer, and you are anyways not able to take care of yourself, neither is your God able to take care of you. But when you come to Islam, you are getting a special position, and you will feel protected, you will feel secure. But in the movie, unfortunately, after as they keep on getting close to Islam, their problems are only seem to be increasing, actually. So obviously, this must be more to do with the malicious intent rather than religion, I would imagine. What are your
Yeah,
views on this?
yeah, that's a very good observation. Because see, it is a common sense thing. Right from the beginning, the reasoning provided is that by the Islamists is that, oh, only Allah will save you, and He's the most powerful, potent one, and all your Hindu gods are impotent. And if you take on to, like if you wear hijab and if you accept Islam, then you will always be protected and you will be free of any kind of worries or suffering. But then it is observed that all, like later on, the same girls, they are having a very tough time. Now, generally, these may be some extreme fanatics, Muslims, like all Muslim might not be the same ones. These may be some extreme fanatics. That's why they have the entire motivation, intention to, uh, I mean, whatnot, right? You already seen the movie. So um, it is very horrific to see all these things. And their intention was like that. So you'll see, I mean, somehow, these girls, they are not even using their common sense, the Hindu girls. And they're not even thinking that, okay, after being converted to Islam, we are facing more hindrances and challenges than before. We were so happy earlier, and there was no problem at all. But then after coming in contact with these people, they had kept on increasing their problems one after the other. So that was something which I think, maybe in the reality also, they should have thought about it seriously. In fact, I think in the character of that Ada Sharma, she's feeling the other way around. She feels that because the other two friends of hers, because they did not completely accept Islam, that's why they suffered. One committed suicide and another was like, tortured like anything. So she felt like that. I mean, I thought maybe she'll start thinking that, oh, I have to stop this and I have to revert back to our culture. But that was like a turning point. I mean, she thought that she was like, maybe she was brainwashed and she could not think of anything else. She was only thinking, okay, just by believing in Allah, we'll be protected. But it is always contradicting. You know, again and again, she's tortured and she's facing a lot of challenges. So yeah, I mean, this is very surprising why they could not use their common sense that time.
Pratikji, today is a very special day of Nirjala Ekadashi. And
Another point is just I think last one or two points.
uh,
They did not even question their own parents about their dharma, like whatever the Islamists they were sharing with them. They did not go to their house and they were not questioning their parents that this is what we have heard. Is this true? Or they did not
but
even question certain
but
followers of Sanatan
there is
culture.
one problem here. See, since this is pertaining to Kerala, and there is a lot of influence of communism. So one of the girls, her name is Gitanjali, her father, he's actually as clueless. He's totally disillusioned with Sanatan Dharma. He's a communist. So it is a serious lacking of uh, the uh, the culture of our Sanatan, the modern family, which is actually causing this, which has made them vulnerable, so vulnerable to other foreign influences.
Yeah, that is true. And I think the reason of us becoming communist is because we are not provided with the right kind of scientific kind of understanding about our spiritual scriptures, right? So if we are given proper sound reasoning for the scriptures, the proper understanding for that, then we'll not become communist. The reason why people they lose faith in spirituality in Sanatan Dharma is because they are not provided answers from their family members, the ancestors also. Because now again it traces back to the Western culture, the influence of the British and the Mughal Empire also. So because of that Western culture influence, our people they have started giving more priority to money and to Western technology advancement and all the Western culture as well, right? So because of that, spirituality has been maybe the last priority in Hinduism. So this is what the British they were able to do. They were able to destroy the spiritual culture of India, of the Hindus, and they were so successful in that. And because of that, people started giving a lot of importance to money and technological advancement, right? Material advancement. So
Correct.
spirituality became a least consideration for them. Because of that, the question answering process became it was dismantled completely. And then there was no one to answer these questions because who is following strictly? You see, in other Abrahamic religions, they are following. At least maybe they are fanatic to a great extent, but at least they're following. It has been passed down to one generation to another generation, and they give it the first priority. But here it has been reversed. So I think we can also the girls probably they are innocent to some extent, although they are supposed to be responsible also. They are supposed to, because everyone has common sense. So they cannot say that, I mean, even if the parents do not have answers to the questions, they could have gone to the temples, they could have gone to the priest, they could have gone to genuine followers of Sanatana Dharma, and they could have got their question answered. But they didn't care about it and they just accepted that. So the blame is to be given to, I think, to the girls, some to the girls, majority to the family members, the parents, the ancestors. Some blame has to be given to the teachers also in the schools, the education system, because of being communist over a period of time, the entire education system has been introduced as being communist, right? I mean, at least it is in that direction. So if the education, culture, everything would have been intact, then the outcome would have been different. And then obviously, see, once you start giving spirituality the last priority, then you have to face the reaction of your own karmas. What the Lord can do also. So it is like the responsibility is, I think it goes to all of them. And even after these incidents, even after seeing the movies, how many of them are still going to make a decision that we will take spirituality as a prime responsibility? How many are going to do that? I know for sure most of the Hindus, they are not going to do it. Maybe the newer generation, the younger generation, they may implement it. But at least already those who have become parents, who are beyond 35 age, 35, 40 age, I don't think they'll be able to do it. So they want to promote it, they want to facilitate it, they want to share it with others. But personally, no, I cannot do it. I cannot follow, right? So there is some degree of hypocrisy also involved. So expecting our generation to follow, expecting our children to follow, but we will not do it.
Correct. But then you see, for that you need deep conviction, and deep conviction will come only when your questions are answered with the right basis. It's not like a blind belief, a forced philosophy.
Absolutely.
So I think there again, I must remind our viewers that this book by Pratik ji will play a good role in clarifying so many questions. And now Pratik ji is also coming up with the Hindi version of this book. 20 plus must know facts about Hinduism. Have you decided on the title of that book, Pratik ji?
Yeah. So the title is, today is a very auspicious day, Nirjala Ekadashi. And so it is with lot of pleasure, I am sharing that the title that we have decided is Sanatan Dharma Sanchay Bhanjan.
Sanchay
Bhanjan. Bhanjan
Bhanjan.
means destroy your doubts. So
हाँ.
destroy doubts related to Sanatan Dharma. And then there are subtitles. जानिए हम जो करते हैं वो क्यों करते हैं, 20 से अधिक अवश्य जानने योग्य तथ्य.
Okay. Wonderful. Very nice. So these books will play an important role. Hindi and English itself will cover a very, very wide audience. And I'm sure this will penetrate deep into our society to clarify so many doubts. In a very simple language, you have explained these things.
Yeah, and I think you made an important point that why people they are not able to accept and they are not willing to start or follow our Sanatan Dharma even after seeing these things and knowing these things is because the questions are there but the answers are not there. And I think they have to start questioning to someone, those who know the answers. And I think what the movie did not portray is the answers.
Correct.
And obviously the movie won't be able to do it because that is not the topic of the movie. They are just showing the reality of the show. But the answers, these are very important. Now, people may have all these questions, even Hindus may have these questions, but they are not be able to answer. They are not able to get the answers for these questions. So for them, especially, we have, I have written this book, and please take the benefit of that. And many of the questions I've answered online also today. And in fact, the session that we are conducting in my channel, Pratik Desa Official, is meant to clarify all these topics in details. So the book is limited. It has limited number of pages. We cannot explain elaborately in the book. That's why we have these sessions where each and every question, each and every topic is elaborately addressed. So people can ask as many questions.
Yeah, and we encourage our viewers to join in more numbers when these sessions are happening so that we get questions from a wider range of audience, right?
Exactly.
So many people, they will come up with different questions and then they can be answered.
Yeah. So hopefully people join online also live.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Pratik ji. So we thank you for the time you give so diligently and so consistently without failure. We are very, very thankful for that. This is serving our society very well. I hope the society also benefit
for your consistent efforts to.
I am only tagging along when you call me. The initiative is totally yours. The energy is yours. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, without the interviewer, it is not possible to have the interview also. It is not possible to have the talk show. So you are also investing time and you are also dedicating your time every month in this useful thing, which can help so many people answer their questions. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
thank you.
Thank you. And hopefully next month we can come up with some other topic.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.